dust is yet to settle on this week's National Elective Congress of South Africa's giant labour federation, Cosatu. Its top set of leaders was re-elected with only one new face filling the vacancy that was created when Zwelinzima Vavi was dismissed. The Congress saw delegates from across the country endorse the expulsion of the popular former General Secretary, along with metalworkers union NUMSA, which was Cosatu's biggest affiliate, with 365,000 members. So how much clarity did we get on the Federation's future since the start of the week? Well, Mbongeni Muthwa was there covering the Congress, which ended yesterday. So he joins us now to talk about how it all went down. Mbongeni, thanks for coming in. So there was a time in this country when everyone paid attention to what Cosatu said. So let's start on the question of clarity here. Are we any wiser compared to the beginning of the week on where Cosatu is going?
Well, it's not clear yet on what kind of Cosatu is going to emerge out of this week's Congress. But at least the Congress should have closed the chapter or brought some finality to what has been going on over the past few years, where Cosatu was being ripped apart publicly by infighting, factionalism. I mean, you had a situation where in Cosatu there were Stumo guys now, and there were Vavi guys, and those kind of things. So I think at some point there had to be clarity as to who are the winners and who are the losers. And hopefully they can emerge now as, you know, one federation with clear leadership and, you know, focused on whatever they're talking about, and less infighting maybe.
Well, let's talk about winners and losers. I mean, now you have a Cosatu with two components that were so prominent, Zwelinzima Vavi and the biggest trade union in this federation, metalworker union NUMSA. Without those two components missing, what type of Cosatu are we seeing?
Well, clearly, Cosatu is weaker now than it was, say, a decade ago or before this whole thing happened. Of course, losing 365, an affiliate, your biggest affiliate with 365,000 members, is bound to leave the federation weaker. It means now they have to hit the ground and work a lot harder, less infighting, more focus on getting back the energy, recruiting new members, strengthening the affiliates and so on, for them to get back to their former strength. I think it's possible, but it's not going to be easy.
You look at the week that was, and perhaps one of the big shockers that came through, I don't know whether or not this was expected, but here you have the Labour Minister, Mildred Oliphant, coming up in her address and saying there are unions in Cosatu that are actually in bed with those people connected with e-tolls and labour broking, the very issues that Cosatu were fighting against. First of all, how did that go down? And the President's Tuma Dlamini, was his reaction to that convincing or not?
That was unexpected, and it was a huge bombshell that the Labour Minister dropped there, because she was even prepared to name the unions, the Cosatu unions. Who knows, perhaps even Cosatu's own investment company would have been named if Stumo Dlamini had not said the minister should not name names. It was such a bombshell that even yesterday when Stumo Dlamini was giving the closing address, that is one of the main, of course, time had run out, whatever, he had to keep it short, but it's one of the main things that he felt he needed to respond to, and basically denied that the minister was talking about any Cosatu unions, which is not true, of course. And she said, Stumo Dlamini said, no Cosatu union. He said he even knows the union that the minister was talking about, and it's not, the union is not an affiliate of Cosatu. That is also not true. The minister was addressing the Cosatu Congress, and she was talking about Cosatu unions. It
would be very interesting to see how that pans out. But before you go, the Cosatu that fights for worker issues, the Cosatu that we saw from yesteryear, was not emphasizing, leadership issues. Can we see that coming back, where shop stewardship starts emerging on a trade union federation like Cosatu, and elective and leadership issues start taking a backseat? Very briefly.
Well, it's going to depend on how, for instance, the fact that most of the leadership positions were not contested.
Yeah.
Only one was contested, and Soli Petwe emerged as the new Deputy General Secretary. Soli Petwe, even during the Congress, the Cosatu affiliates that are on the Stumo side and against Vavi,
Yeah.
were campaigning against him, saying that he's a Vavi man. So it depends on how smoothly he is integrated into the broader collective of the Cosatu. Of course, he's known to be a hard worker. He's very active on the ground in the Northwest.
Yep.
He is definitely going to bring in a lot of energy in terms of Cosatu organizing on the ground and so on. But it remains to be seen how smooth Cosatu is able to function from here onwards.
Mbongeni, Muthwa, we trust you'll keep your eyes on that for us. Thanks very much for talking to us.
You're welcome.